Hi everyone, in this lecture we are going to talk about indexing and slicing arrays. Indexing and slicing are efficient ways of selecting subsets of arrays. Let's create an array first. I'm going to say a equal np dot a range 11 and raised to the power of 2. If you take a look at a, we are going to get 0, 1, and then 2, 4, 0 raised to the power of 2, 1 raised to the power of 2, 2 raised to the power of 2, 4, 3 is 9, 4 is 16, 5, 25, so on and so forth, until 10, which is going to be raised to the power of 2, which is going to be 100. Now, indexing and arrays is going to work exactly the same as in lists, in pure Python lists. So we just use brackets. If I say provide 0, this is going to grab the first item. The first item has an index of 0, so it's going to give me just 0. We could grab the item with an index of 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is going to give us 25. Let's grab the item with an index of 1. We can also do negative indexing. If I do negative 1, from the right to the left, negative 1 is the first item, but from left to right, 0, the index 0 is the first item. That is the difference. If I do let's say negative 5, what is that? So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is going to give us 36. There we go. We can also access a subset, which is called slicing. And the index, again, as with lists, is not included. So if I say 2 colon 5, it's going to start from the index of 2, go all the way to less than 5, which is 4. So it's going to grab items with an index of 2, 3, and 4. What are they? So 0, 1. This is going to grab 4, 9, and 16. If I run that, 4, 9, and 16, it works exactly in the same way. If you want to grab all the items, you should not provide a starting point and an ending point. This is basically going to grab everything. If you want to select index 3 and go all the way to the last index, the stopping point, don't provide anything there. This is going to grab starting from index 3 all the way to the last item. And then if you say, let's say you want to start from the beginning, but you want to go all the way to up to index number 8. And that's it. So you're going to end up at 49. You're not going to get 64, 81, or 100. Or 8 itself for that matter. So the ending is also, the end index is always going to be excluded, right? We can also provide a step, which is a third argument in here. So let's say we want to start from the index of 1. That is the starting point. We want to go up to index 9, and we want to jump 3 indices each time. And we get 1, 16, and 49. So 1 is the index of 1, and then we have to jump 3. So it is 1, this is 2, and then we grab this one. 1, 2, and then we grab the third one, and then 1, 2. We don't grab this one because we have specified we are going to go all the way to index 9. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically all the way up to 81. Now, we can also reverse an array, like we can reverse a list. For that, do not provide any starting point. Do not provide any ending point. Just provide a step. The step is going to be -1. This is going to reverse the array that you have. Let's say we have an array of mixed data types. Let's say we have an array of students. We have the first list is names. The second list is going to be like, let's say, scores or IDs or whatever. Like we have this array. Let's work with this one. This is like mixed data types. Let's take a look at students first. This is a two-dimensional array, as you can see right here. There are 2 dimensions, and this less than sign, this is called Little Indian. And it's a really confusing name because it's actually spelled like this. as opposed to Indian, like the country. It's Ind and then IN, like Indian. U is UTF-8, basically the character set. 11 is the bit. It's 11-bit characters, in case you were wondering about the data type. Okay, so how can we work or index two-dimensional arrays? If you provide the first number is going to grab a specific row. So if you provide 0, it's going to grab the row with an index of 0, which is John, Jack, Julie, and Joanna. I'm going to cut this part, copy this part, and I'm going to put it there. If you provide 2, this is going to grab the row with the index of 2, which is the last one in this case. Let's say you want to grab the first row, or the row with the index of 0, but you want to grab the column with the index of 3. What is that going to be? So it's going to be this row, but what is the column? So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to grab this column, 32. So if I run it, Joanna. Oh, oops, not 32, because it is the first row. It selected Joanna because it was the first one, not the last one. Let's do one more, so we are really sure about it. Let's say we want to grab the row with an index of 1 and the column with an index of 2. Let's specify which one that is. Row index 1, row index 2, so it is this row. Column 0, okay, this is column 0, column 1, and this is column 2. So we should get 89, a string of 89. Let's do another one. Let's say we're going to grab the row with an index of 2, the column with an index of 0. It's going to give us 15, which is this one. Now, our indexing for two-dimensional arrays could have ranges as well. So for rows, let's say we want to grab the row with the index of 0 all the way to 2. That is the row. Keep that in mind. Instead of just a single index, it's a range of indices. For columns, let's say we want to grab 0 all the way to 3. So for row, it's going to grab row 1 and row 2. For column, it's going to grab column 1, 2, and 3. It's not going to grab the column 4, which has an index of 3, because it's not going to include that number. Let's run that. There we go. So one row is missing and also one column. Let's kick this up a notch. We could say we want to grab all the rows. For that, we are just going to pass in a colon, and we want to grab column 1 to 2, which 2 is not included. It's just going to grab column 1. So it's Jack 7884, but it's all the rows for that specific column. So column with an index of 1 is actually the second column, Jack 7884. Let's do another example of this. Let's say we want to grab all the rows, but columns should start from 0 and then all the way to column with an index of 3. If I run it, it's not going to include 3, but it's less than that. We can also say I want to grab the row, the last row, and for that last row, I want to grab all the columns. There we go. So 1584, 54. What I should do probably at this point is just print our students so we can really work with it. What is the last row? The last row is this one. That's why it has been printed. This is just to keep me from like scrolling up and down so many times. Alrighty, right. This is going to be a little bit of advanced. So let's see if you can get it. -3 to -1 for rows, and -2 to end for columns. What is this going to give us? So I'm going to give you 2 seconds to think about it. This is a little bit more advanced. Easy nonetheless. All right, so how was it? I'm sure you did great. So what is this going to give us? It says that I want to grab the row that has an index of -3. So this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, right? So the row is -3, all the way to -1. But -1 is not going to be included. Therefore, only -3 and -2. So we know that we are working with the first row and the second row. That is obvious. But what about columns? It says, I want to start from -2 and I want to go to end or to beginning. What do you think? I mean, if this were this were 2, it would go to the end. But if this is -2, then it should go to the beginning, right? No, it is still going to the end. Doesn't matter. So -2, go to the end. It is going to be, the end is right here. So this is -1. This is -2, the column, -3 and -4. So this is -2 as well as this one, which is -1. So we are this row and this row, this column and this column. So we should have Julie 89, Joanna 99. Let's run it. Julie 89, Joanna 99. Perfect. We can also use ellipses to get all the elements along a particular dimension. Let's say we pass in students and we say 0 for row, which is going to give us the first row, and triple periods or dots, which signifies ellipses. This is going to grab all the elements along a particular dimension. So when it is the row 0, all the elements in that dimension, which are John, Jack, Julie, and Joanna. There we go. We could also do the same thing for for columns, for rows. So I'm going to say all the rows for the column with an index of 1, which is the second column. There we go. So we get Jack 78, 84. Jack 78 and 84. That's it for this lecture. See you in the next one.